Hello everyone, I am with Greg right now, that who has the interesting life story he's gonna share with us.
Sure.
Hey Greg.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So yeah, my name is Greg. I'm 58 years old. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm currently living in Salisbury, Maryland. That's where my adventure or my life's journey has taken me. I've been homeless. I've lived all over the United States. I've lived homeless for a great number of years, a large portion of my life. I've been to prison, I've been to jail countless times. I've been through, there's a local rehab or a rehabilitation drug and alcohol program here. I've been to this local one 8 times. And I'll tell you the reason for me why I became homeless, and that is when I was growing up, I was born in a good family. My mother and father loved me. I didn't want for anything. We weren't poor, but there was always something inside. I was smart, very athletic, but there was always something inside of me that I felt less than. I didn't feel as good as you are, and so I was constantly looking for your approval to make me feel good. I became a funny man because as long as you were laughing, I knew that, at least for that moment, that you liked me. As a young child, my parents would allow me to go to a YMCA camp. Mm-hmm. And I would go to the camp because everybody in camp were the same kind of person. And there was no, you're better than me or I'm better than you. We were all equal. There was a camp, and I went multiple years, and the last time I went, there was a camp counselor there who knew me from my neighborhood and started making fun of me. And so that one place that I felt comfortable at all of a sudden became uncomfortable, and I never went to camp again. When I returned home, I ran into some people not long after that were smoking marijuana. I think I was 13, and they welcomed me in, and all of a sudden I had all these friends, and I started smoking marijuana and drinking a little alcohol. And so it was many years of drinking and being sick, and then I remember the day I realized that, oh no, I'm addicted. And I'd been homeless, and I didn't really care. It wasn't that was not that important to me because I was having a good time.
You didn't have hard time to find something to eat or to live.
That's the thing. America. In the United States, there are places where people can go and eat. Here in Salisbury, in fact, there's a place right around the corner here that if you're homeless, you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they also have a shelter for men and women, but they fill up quickly. And I've stayed there many times. Okay. I've been substance free, drugs and alcohol for going on 5 years now. And that's something that's kind of been a little bit different for me because I've done this 5 times. I mean, I've cleaned up, got a nice place, nice vehicle, a beautiful girlfriend, good job, make money. And then I decide that maybe I can have a beer, or maybe I can smoke some weed. And every time I've learned that I end up out there holding a cardboard sign, we'll work for food, or hungry, please help, something like that. And it doesn't take me long for my beard to get long, my hair to get long, and of course my clothes get dirty, and I look the part. You would never know it was me in the rain. Mm-hmm. So today, this is what I do. I'm a counselor, and I went to school. I got my life together. And that's what I'm doing now. I can't tell you if I'm going to do something different later. I might be homeless next week. I don't know. But today, this is what I'm doing.
Okay, the question is right now, especially in my country, if you are homeless, you cannot go to school because education is so expensive.
Sure.
How did you do in United States? You went to the school while you were homeless, right?
No.
No.
Nope. Because I'm familiar with the system being, rehab for addict or an alcoholic, the first thing, at least for me, to get my life straight, I can't just say I'm not going to do it because my body gets physically addicted and I have to have it. So I know that I have to go to rehab. I have to go to a program, not only to detox, but to get my mind aligned into a different way of thinking, meeting people who are like-minded and on the same track. Because if I start hanging out at the bar or smoking weed under the bridge, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, if I hang out with those people, that's what I'm going to do. So what happens is I went to rehab and I got myself together, and then from there, I'm sure it's the same way everywhere. You have to pay taxes, and I hadn't paid taxes since 2009. I'm sorry, 2005. I decided, well, I'm going to get my life right. I knew that I owed a bunch of money to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. I knew that, and I just did not want to pay it. But with the state and federal. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I don't care how long it takes. So I made an agreement. They go back 7 years, by the way. If you owe them money, if they owe you money, they go back 3. So, but they went back 7 years, and I have owed for probably 15. But they went back 7 years, to the tune of like $15,000. Okay. And so they put me on a 10-year plan. That's the maximum that they'll give you, and I pay $300 a month. And I think I've got 7 years left. Mm-hmm. And I've been really working at it, and I have to go I physically take my money to the state, and that's a 10-year deal too. But that's like $80 a month. That's the funny thing. We're talking about school. Anybody can go to school here in the United States. If you're current on your taxes, you can get a student loan.
What about financial aid? You couldn't get financial aid?
If you're not current straight with the IRS, you have no benefits.
Okay. And other question, you have been around a lot of homeless people.
I have. I know most of them here in town. Yeah, I really like them. They have a place in my heart.
So what do you think the actual reason to be homeless?
Mental health.
Mental health?
Sure. I think I was an exception to the rule because certainly I've got some issues. I don't know what they are, but I don't want to be diagnosed. But I can function in society pretty well. The reasons are many and varied, but I think to lump it all into one, I think it would be mental health issues.
And when people looking from the overseas to the United States, they think it's very powerful. It has very powerful economy, and people has good jobs here too. They can make good money, but also they hear a lot of homeless people. This is contradictory to them. You think because of mental health they are
and drug addiction.
Drug addiction.
Sure. I mean,
not because of economic system or government.
No. A lot of those people will tell you that, but if you look at San Francisco and Los Angeles and big towns, even I'm from Albuquerque, a town like that has a huge homeless problem, and it's easier for people to, once they lose faith or hope or their spirit becomes crushed and there's not somebody there to say, hey, everything's going to be okay.
So you're saying basically people being homeless because of their choices. System, I know the system has affected them too.
Sure, everybody has a choice. We know that.
Some of them, like you said, has mental health problem, but the other of them, I can say from what you're saying, their choices.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought, I had no problem sleeping outside, drinking as much as I could, smoking as much as I could, doing whatever it is I was doing.
And no responsibility.
No responsibility. I'd go to sleep on a park bench and wake up and do the same thing the next day.